Hello, this is AT Khaled. I'm just going to be doing the combo, but I'm just going to be explaining like a lot more, going into detail rather than just showing you what the combo is for the sake of showing you. Okay, let's get started. So in this scenario, it will be one card Anguish. Actually, I'll change it up. I'll do one card Zebra for this one. That's fine. Okay. So, of course, we're going to be starting with Zebra, sending Gatic Sleepy, and then the Gatic effect to add back Sleepy, effective Sleepy to fuse. Of course, at this point, not very much to explain in terms of why we're going for it. And then Twin Dragon effect, search for Trihorn and Darkblade. So, the reason why it is Darkblade here is because, for example, it could be Mace, it can't be Anguish. Like, Anguish would be a weird line. But the reason why it would be Darkblade is because you're going to pop the Sleepy. So what I've seen some people do is they summon Anguish, dump Mace, but Zebra is not supposed to die to a Bestial at any point. So you just summon Mace. Then you go Sleepy effect, and you send Akihiron. Now you're going to Mace, you're going to pop, you're going to search Fusion. So in this game state, you do not trigger Akihiron still, I believe. Yes, you don't. Because there is no need to use it now, because you don't want to just get hit by Nib randomly and it go for value. Like you're not going to be popping Akihiron right now, and you still have plenty of pops to go along. So like there's no point in rushing it. Creation King effect, this will send free, so of course you already have Akihiron in graveyard and Memento Fusion, so at this point after combined it's pretty much just like sending like extra names, right? So for example, we don't have a Zebra in grave anymore, so I'm going to send a Zebra, and then we also we're going to go for a Goblin later, but we're not going to go for both Goblins, so that's fine to have it there. So now we can go for Memento Fusion, Banish, Pop, Search Party. Here, now you can trigger the Akihiron, because you're probably going to be popping it. This banishes, gets Field Spell, and the nice part here is like, even in a scenario where they nib you on this to stop you from getting the add back, you can still recover. You can, because you just pop the Trihorn from hand, summon Anguish, Anguish searches another name, and I don't think you're going to be able to do too much in that state, but like people would normally nib you earlier. This is a very specific part that they'd have to nib you at. So now here you can do a really nice play where you go Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, Chain Link 3 Aki. So you add back of Akihiron, you search for Anguish, you grab the mace that you need, plus the field spell reborns the Sleepy. So now, as I always say, like as long as you end on this setup, Fusion, Mace, Field Spell, Party combined, nothing else really matters. So here, same as before. So I'm just gonna quickly do this and get to the end result, just so that I can show you. Shuffle back the Zebra here, make the Bertho, sends the Elden, and then summon the Trihorn. Link these two off, make the cross sheep, and then reborn the combine. I think you have like one less name in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But like in my opinion, like you having these two is just more than enough. True cross sheep, reborn effect, search, get Swen special summon from hand, get vision. And then it's just the same as the last video. Yeah, towards the end part, and towards like the end part of the combo, it all ends up looking the same, of course. But it's just important to know how to get to it. If you guys do want, I don't mind doing like the combo for Goblin and Darkblade as well, just to make you guys see how every single starter does it, or all Elden Swen as well, whatever you guys want to see really. And then here, as before, you do this. But now I'm actually going to explain to you like how you sequence your combos, your interrupts, yada yada. Now search this. Okay, now this is the end of the combo. Set, set and field spell and end phase, Gobongo and end phase. Okay, so you'll go end phase, you'll go to their turn. Cool. So now stand by main, your opponent activates a card. Just to let you know, Memento can actually like combo really well as long as you have 2 zones free, along with the combined. So like this is like perfect for like Memento essentially. So you're gonna go combined effect to reborn the Trihorn as standard as you always do. Your opponent commits 2 cards to the field. Like always remember, like your opponent already has to open like Droplet to specifically beat Hiking. Like FNV is not an answer. Like FNV is not even an answer to any other thing in the field because this card is just really so high impact. But then always remember, even if they Droplet this for example, let's just say from now on with all examples, this card's just impound or Dropleted. Otherwise, I don't really see what deck plays through the Hiking. Plus the Gobongo by itself. So in this scenario, your opponent like commits cards to the field, like they activate. What would it be? Radiant Typhoon, I guess. Sure, yeah, we'll say that. If they summon like Eldon, Swen, whatever it may be, you just wait for them to put 2 bodies on the field. You just go Bone Party. Let's say in draw phase, they're gonna like shotgun their stuff, right? Like firstly, they can potentially hit one of these 2, so they won't necessarily hit them into fusion. But against Radiant Typhoon, 90% of the time, this card is probably in the graveyard. And then this card's just bait. Like if they hit it, they hit it. Like it will just get a free MST out of their hand for no reason. Like sometimes they'll just hit field spell as well. But there's no point hitting Bone Party obviously because you just chain it. But in the scenario where they forcibly, like let's say they pop 1, they pop the blank just for the sake of showing you how the combo works. You Bone Party pop, you can still summon Sleepy, and then effect of Trihorn pop, effect Sleepy sends Gatic reborns, and then Gatic adds back the Sleepy. So then here you still have like you still have this 1 extra zone. Even though this does feel a bit cloggy sometimes, you have to remember that you can do some like really interesting plays. For example, let's say like in a scenario where this isn't dropleted, if you wanted to like use Hiking for the first time, and then let's say like they just don't have another card in their field, and use the second Hiking as well. If they don't have any card in their field, you can just choose to Gone Wild or Gobonga, suck up your own Hiking to like clean up the zones a little, because then that just makes it easier. So there's like obviously it's like a variety of stuff that you could do, but that's just like one option to like unclog your field a little. And then in this game state, obviously Baphomet is here, so now you can summon Creation King. Creation King pops their card, and then you can trigger field spell if you wanted to reborn Anguish. But in this game state, you could choose just to hold. For example, let's say that you pop that instead. That you pop 2. Now you can trigger Ang, reborn, Anguish effect. Now here you can search Darkblade, and now look, you've resolved. So now even in the scenario where like you've used Mace, right? You got their body, whatever. You've used your Hiking, your Gobonga attaches. Let's say you haven't even used Memento Fusion yet. What you could do, hypothetically, is special summon Sleepy, make Twin, using these 2. Twin pop search 2, so now you can just like establish your follow-up. Like it's only going to be 1 piece of follow-up really, which is like this. Oh, actually to be fair, you can add Akihiron as well. And then you Twin Dragon reborn Darkblade, and then you can Darkblade pitch to Aki and pop their card. So now you have the Akihiron engraved, so you have your little bit extra follow-up if they pop any of your cards. And then you also made Sleepy into an independent interruption, which is very important. And now just as a finishing touch, I already have 1 king in my extra deck, so this is probably better to have it back inside. Obviously I have to use a material here, so I could just willingly use the Anguish, and then just summon the Dragster Pelea. But as you can see, the board is extremely layered, because even in a scenario where like they Droplet the Hiking, me being able to like still use like the Gobonga, and always remember, like I could have chosen to search Mace here, and then just have protection for my Memento stuff. But then even in the scenario where like, they try to battle into me, do some damage, me being able to just have that, and then detaching all these materials, or like as many as I feel necessary, and then reducing all their monsters' attack. And the reason why this comes up is even in a scenario where you don't have a High King, when you Memento Fusion summon Berthamut and send the Gone Wild, that triggers it to attach to the Gobonga. But then you also can do Breakout in battle phase without High King, and then detach the materials, reduce your opponent's monster's attack, and then Gobonga suck up their card because a material is detached off the Gobonga. So that's like the really cool thing about like how like Gobonga just like makes all the half boards so much better, because like you always like threaten the Jin stuff, the sequence, and your opponent always just nibs that, but then you being able to make a Gobonga after, and then being able to like still Memento Fusion into Berthamut because they stopped you from making your sequence right, and then sending Gone Wild and doing all that type of stuff is just such cool interaction. Like even being able to like summon the Gone Wild when you have the Gobonga with like Breakout on your opponent's turn, and then going Memento Fusion, using the Gone Wild and like a fusion, summoning Dragastapelia, and then Gone Wild effect send. Like there's like a lot of different lines. But yeah, this was just me showing you guys like how to use the interrupts, and while also showing you the one card Zebra. I just wanted to show you so you guys have like a actual understanding of like how to layer your interrupts along with using them to the maximum capability. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.